Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551. And I do want to start off by saying there won't be any video review for this week or anything like that. Some of this is basically there's something I have to attend this week that I got to deal with and all. Mostly family-related stuff, though. And the other thing, or, yeah, like that kind of stuff. Nothing serious, just a family-related situation. And the other thing is, well, you know what? It's the holidays. Christmas is coming up, and I'm sure most people out there, not everyone, but most people are probably going to spend time with friends and family or anything like that. So I'm not going to do a video review for this week or a second video this week. I might do it next week, but I'll see how things are on that one. But otherwise, no video review or other video, a second video for this week. So if you don't see one posted on Tuesday, that's where I normally post my videos time to. When I do that, you know why now. But anyway, we got 5 stories to cover this week, including rumors about Microsoft be looking at possibly releasing the next Xbox system and everything like that, probably claim around 2026. A shakeup in some of the leadership at Microsoft, particularly on the Activision Blizzard side, as it's now reported Bobby Kotick is now officially leaving by the end of this month and everything like that. A hack happened at Sony, particularly with Insomniac Games and everything, as well, let's just say it released a lot of information, including a version of the Wolverine game that Insomniac Game is working on. Reports about Bandai Namco and Nintendo teaming up, working on a certain project and something like that. And a controversy that's surrounding a YouTuber by the name of the Completionist, if I'm saying his name correctly, that led to the developers of Sea of Stars doing an update to remove this person who was originally in the game and everything like that. If you're interested where I got the source of these information, links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. But before we get started, though, I like to do what I like to call the quick my 2 cents, stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of details or anything like that. The first one is that apparently this was sort of an odd thing I found, but apparently it seems that Luigi Mansion 2, the game that was originally released on the Nintendo 3DS and will be making its way over to the Nintendo Switch next year, was inspired by the British sitcom of, get this, Mr. Bean. When I read it, I thought, really? They drew when Next Level Game worked on this game, they drew inspiration from Mr. Bean to make Luigi's Mansion 2. I think it was just sort of an odd thing to read, but apparently it's what hey, either way, Luigi's Mansion 2 is a good game, nevertheless, though. So it's just sort of odd to hear about that and everything. We also learned that Sea of Stars has so far reached more than 4 million players in 4 months and everything like that. I'm very pleased to see that. Sea of Stars is a good game. I definitely recommend it, though. And I'm glad that it won Best Indie Game at the Game Awards this year, though. So I definitely think Sea of Stars is a good game, though, and glad that it's reaching a lot of people out there. Meanwhile, though, Persona 5 has shifted over 10 million copies worldwide, which is certainly isn't bad, though. I wonder how much of that is just on the PlayStation and how much of that is on the Xbox systems and even the Nintendo Switch, which got a version of Persona 5 as well, though. It'll be interesting to see if this is a somewhat of a change of Aulx's strategy, because in the past they've mostly only focused on just the PlayStation systems and that system alone. But seeing how some of their games have done on other systems, I do wonder if this is kind of changing their strategy just a little bit and everything like that. We also learned that basically Sony has confirmed that the PS5 has passed 50 million units worldwide, though. So obviously the PS5 is still doing very well and everything like that. So obviously Sony must be pleased with that. In another bizarre one as well, apparently I found this on Push Square. Apparently the Pornhub revealed the most popular video game characters for 2023. I don't know why people looked up these characters in Pornhub, but hey, all I can say is whatever floats your boat and everything like that. It's just a weird story and everything like that. We also learned that supposedly Xbox Series X and S sales have fallen around 15% in 2023. This also follows a report that PS5 is outselling the Xbox Series X and S 3-1 and everything like that, though. I mean, Microsoft has so far stopped making basically reporting console sales and everything like that. So there is some estimated guess of whether this is accurate or not. So you could look at it either way. It seems that their focus lately has been more on the subscription service with Game Pass and everything like that, though. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens when their next system, assuming the rumors are true, come out, and whether they do anything different or not. We also learned that basically Sega has offered some new details on a lot of the classic reboots that they're doing, ranging from Jet Set Radio to, Golden Axe to the Streets of Rage game, though. I mean, what they showed during the Game Awards, definitely looks promising and everything like that. But like I said, whether they can execute it or not or pull it off, that, however, remains to be seen at this time. So we'll have to wait and see if they can, and it will be interesting to see if this clicks with today's audiences or not. And last but not least, the co-founder of Obsidian recently talked about how supposedly Bethesda has rejected multiple Elder Scrolls spin-off proposals. Supposedly the idea was to do a Elder Scrolls game very similar to the approach that what Obsidian did when they did Fallout New Vegas and everything like that, which by today still remains supposedly the best Fallout game out there and beloved by a lot of Bethesda fans and everything like that. Obviously, now that they're under Microsoft's wing, both Obsidian and Bethesda, it will be interesting to see if this Elder Scrolls spin-off does come to fruition, if it ever does happen, or even a Starfield spin-off, if that also ever happens or anything like that. And in the movie and TV side of the My 2 Cent video, we now have another trailer or a small commercial for upcoming Disney Plus or Marvel Studios Echo. It is going to be on both Disney Plus and Hulu. But what's interesting about that is that they have now pointed out for those with Disney Plus owners in terms of setting up your parental guide and everything like that. Obviously, they're aiming for like a hard, maybe an R-rated or M-rated like that, TVMA, which certainly I think that's good, especially for Disney Plus and everything like that, though. I would like to see more, mature content on Disney Plus, although it's coming to Hulu as well. So either way, if you have one or the other, you can watch the upcoming Echo series, though. We also learned that basically the big news from Marvel is that they have dropped Jonathan Majors as Kang. As some of you are aware, he was facing criminal charges in terms of domestic abuse and everything like that. From what I understand, he may have been found guilty out of, I think, 2 of the 5 charges that he was facing. But in either case, though, they have dropped him, though. Furthermore, this has led to basically the title change for the upcoming Avengers, refer to it as Avengers 5. Many are speculating that this is basically that they're dropping Kang altogether. However, some don't believe that is the case, as there has been some reports of the possibility that they're going to recast the character and everything like that. Personally, my take on it is that I think that if they're going to drop Jonathan Majors, I think they should just recast someone playing Kang. I really think it would be way too late to drop Kang altogether, since he's part of the whole multiverse saga and everything like that. As far as the title change, though, this has happened before. Originally, before the Infinity War came out, we had Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, but that was later dropped and changed to Infinity War and Endgame. And same with the upcoming 4th Captain America movie, which was originally went from New World Order to Brave New World, although supposedly the claim behind that is not 100%, I don't know 100% how accurate this is, but the claim is that it gives the impression of an anti-Semitic comment, and this has to do following what we're seeing right now in, Gaza and Israel and everything like that. So whatever the case is, though, I would say I think they're still going to keep Kang. I think they're just going to recast them. I'm not sure ditching the character altogether is the right choice or anything like that. We also learned that Jack Black has sort of sounded off on the possibility of a Super Mario Bros. 2 movie, the sequel to the box office hit Super Mario Bros., the movie. According to him, he's basically saying that it's been radio silent in terms of the sequel, to even believing it should have a musical title called Bowser's Revenge and everything like that. Obviously, which is kind of interesting for him to say that, because I think there was a statement made from Chris Pratt that made a comment saying that there were certainly ideas for Super Mario Bros. 2, but right now a whole writers and actor strike kind of threw everything off at this time or anything like that. I don't doubt in my mind that they will do basically a Super Mario Bros. 2 movie, though. I mean, it might be a while until we hear like a script or anything like that, but given how well that movie is done, there's no doubt in my mind that Nintendo and Illumination Universal will want to do an actual sequel and everything like that. Whether or not they'll bring in new characters, there's been rumors about Wario and Luigi to Daisy and Rosalia. It remains to be seen at this time on that. We also have been hearing a report that supposedly the Illumination is reportedly pitching an idea for an Avengers style for a Super Smash Bros. Movie to Nintendo. Now, could an Avengers style like a Smash Bros. Movie work? I think it could if it's done correctly and everything like that, though. I don't think that what they don't want to do is rush too quickly into this or try to play, we need to catch up to Marvel or anything like that. What Warner Brothers tried to do with, the DCEU, at least from my perspective on that, though. So I do think it's important that if this report's true, if it is, that I want them to take their time, but do it right and everything like that. So we'll see if this truly does come to fruition or not. Right now, it is a rumor. Supposedly this person posted it on Twitter, but on the other hand, it's been reported this person also pointed out what's correct on stuff about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever and everything. We also learned that basically Warner Brothers and Paramount are in discussions of a possibility of a merger. This had to do with reports of the head of both Warner Brothers and Paramount meeting with each other and talking for hours. Now, granted, nothing is official at this time, though. There has been no official announcement that the merger is happening, or if we know for certain if it's going to happen, though. And they're saying that everything is on the table. This is almost kind of sounds very similar to what Bob Iger was going to do with either Hulu and everything like that. There were reports that everything was on the table, with the possibility of selling off their part of Hulu to dropping other networks and everything like that. In the end, it turned out to be he bought up Comcast's other part of Hulu as well. So now they have the full share of Hulu and everything like that. So we'll see if this merger happens or not. If it does, it will be very interesting to see if how big of involvement the FTC will get into this, and whether or not they will block this merger to let it block this merger from happening, or if they'll let this merger go through or not. And in last but not least, on unfortunately sad news, it seems that one of the actors who voiced Max Payne, named James McCaffrey, if I'm saying his name correctly, apparently passed away this week from cancer and everything like that. Very sad to hear that, indeed, especially to die from cancer and all. And I believe he starred in other TV shows and movies and everything like that, though. But in either case, my heart goes out to his fans who liked him, especially when he voiced Max Payne, to his family and all. Okay, with the quick my 2 cent part and the movie and TV show part now officially done, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with the Completionist, if I'm saying the name correctly though, and a controversy that he was found himself into, and a response from the developers of Sea of Stars that have made in light of this whole controversy that he got himself surrounded in. Now, YouTube, for content creators and YouTubers in general, there's no denying that there are times when there are certain controversies surrounding some of these content creators, though. We've seen it before, whether it's a situation like, I believe back in 2017 with Logan Paul and supposedly the so-called situation surrounding I believe if I'm saying the name correctly, the suicide forest in Japan, to basically other content as well, like Jared and the whole what's supposed to be a domestic issue or anything like that. Sometimes these controversies can be blown out of proportion, but sometimes they can be true, and they kind of can expose some folks who seem that maybe they're not what they claim they're be, though. So it's kind of I kind of see this as sort of a double-edged sword to a certain degree. Well, another content creator has got himself into basically a whole lot of hot water. And this has to do with supposedly a charity that the Completionist has ran, though, that basically has now been under fire and everything like that. A article from IGN has pointed to several of this, though. We'll read you the updates in a minute, but supposedly there has been controversy surrounding a charity that the Completionist has had in an active role, and that is the Open Hand Foundation charity and everything like that. They're saying that it has been accused of keeping public donation despite claiming the money has been sent on dementia research, though. This basically has to do with saying a couple of things, like such as the pair alleged. It says YouTuber Carrot Jobsid and some ordinary gamers uploaded videos of their investigation into Gerard Khan, if I'm saying his name correctly, better known online as Completionist, and his charity Open House Foundation. The pair alleged that Open House Foundation, which was founded by the Completionist's father in memory of his wife, and in which the YouTuber and his 4 siblings play an active role, according to its website, currently has more than $600,000 in donations untouched in a bank account and have no evidence of paying that money forward to organizations working against dementia. This comes despite the Completionist, who boasts 1.63 million subscribers on YouTube, running yearly fundraiser events called Indieland, in which online personalities and celebrities come together to raise money directly for the Open Hand Foundation. Indieland is a celebration of the indie games with a mission to raise money for this charity over a 30-hour span, with ton of developers, influence, and pop culture icons dropping in for a cause. The website reads, all proceeds earnings during the event go to the Open Hand Foundation. And according to some ordinary gamer and Carrot Jobsit, public availability tax filings show the charity has raised $655,520 since its inception, but has donated none of it, despite record $10 of $1,000 in administration expenses. Over 4 years of tax filings were available when IGN attempted to verify these details on the United States Internal Revenue Source websites, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2020. You can read the article yourself. It is a little bit lengthy. That's just sort of a clip about it, that part I'm going to read, though. But according to this, though, there has been one fallout and one small update, though. According to one of the updates that they made on December 10th, the YouTuber known as the Completionist has responded to the charity fraud allegation against him and his family Open House Foundation. It's a 20-minute video, and he basically is talking about how he wanted to set the record straight, make it clear that there was no criminal or financial fraud. It's saying that he has mentioned that. It also basically confirms that he's no longer part of Open House Foundation and gave up his word as a board member. The other update has to do with Sabotage Game that has worked on the game Sea of Stars recently, that has came out, though, and they have announced that they will be putting up a patch that will remove the Completionist as a builder NPC in MIRTH, if I'm saying the name correctly. This is what they had to say. Quote, "A small patch will be going live on Steam and be submitted to console soon to replace the builder NPC in Mirth," Sabotage CEO wrote in Sabotage Discord. "We arrived at this decision after carefully monitoring the events over the past few weeks, and while it's not our place to pass judgment, we do make it a priority to maintain a positive and optimistic space that reflects the spirit of our intent to be creative or otherwise. As always, we appreciate your support and trust you to respect our decision while keeping the tone of the conversation in line with the essential of what makes our game and our community what they are. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, if these allegations are true, then that it is, and yeah, I can see why people would view this as a very scummy thing. You're asking for donations for this cause, and it turns out you're not giving money to where it's supposed to be go. Yeah, I can see why not everyone would be happy about that, though, and why they would call you out on it, though. So, if these allegations that are being leveled towards the Completionist and this foundation that he's running is true, then yeah, I can see why people would definitely be upset. As for Sabotage Games and their decision, obviously they probably were not happy about this. I'm sure they wanted to work with the Completionist to put them inside their game and everything, and to have this suddenly blow up, though, this whole situation, yeah, I can see why they came to this decision, why they don't want any ties with him, as he's kind of toxic right now, on to be exact, given the whole situation. Whether he recovers from this or not, that remains to be seen at this time. Some believe that the Completionist will not recover from this, others might do, so time will tell if it happens, if he does or not. But overall, I would say, assuming these allegations are accurate and there's hard evidence to back these claims up, yeah, a very scummy thing, the fact that you are doing it, asking for money for a cause only to find out you haven't spent a single dime on it. Yeah, I can see why that would raise a lot of eyebrows and why not everybody would be pleased with that and everything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 2, and this one has to do with Bandai Namco and Nintendo, as they're supposedly maybe working on both a 2D and 3D action game. So we'll take a quick break and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Bandai Namco, particularly clearly what appears to be a project they could be working on with Nintendo. Now, Bandai Namco and Nintendo have collaborated before in the past, and they both have worked together on several different games and everything like that. Well, Bandai Namco hasn't entirely put their weight behind, the Switch entirely, though, even though they've put certain games out there. I mean, they didn't really put anything like Tekken or Soul Calibur or anything like that, but they have put some of their Tales game over, although the last one didn't exactly go over well in terms of how well that game was ported and everything like that. I think it was Tales of Symphonia or something like that. But they have worked with Nintendo before on games like Super Smash Brothers, to even, I believe, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and everything like that. So they do. It does seem to be that they do have a good partnership and everything like that. Well, recently there has been reports looking like that there has been a job listing, and it does seem to indicate that they are supposedly working on a 2D game and a 3D action game and everything like that. The article does come from Nintendo Life, as they mentioned that they updated this from an article that came out Tuesday, November 14th and everything like that. They've now recently updated this week by saying, quote, "New job listing for Bandai Namco Studio 2 and Studio S have reported surface on the official company website. One in particular is believed to be linked to a Nintendo project that first made headlines in April last year. It could supposedly be a remaster and remake of a 3D action game by Nintendo. Another job listing referenced the construction of stage specifications and level designs for a side view action game. The role also referenced how development projects are commissioned by Nintendo." Now, this could be many things, though. Some folks might consider it could be a new IP and everything like that. After all, Bandai Namco did help develop ARMS, the launch title for the Nintendo Switch. But at the same time, there have been speculations that some people believe that this could be, say, the Kid Icarus Uprising remaster remake that Bandai Namco could be working on or anything like that. this started, I do think it was last year. I think it was started by a post put up by someone by the name of Zippo, who is known to leak stuff, although this person's track record has been mixed before in the past, so you could take it as whether this is correct or not. But the claim is that I believe I remember hearing about how that Bandai Namco was working on a remaster or remake version of Kid Icarus Uprising, and what added more speculation to this was when Mr. Sakurai, who's lately been doing a lot of YouTube videos mostly about game development, there was supposedly a comment that he made that kind of raised some eyebrows where he said that I don't know 100% what the comment might have been, but I think it might have been, I wonder if someone will like work on, referring to Kid Icarus Uprising and everything like that. Some believe that might have been him trolling. Others believe it could be a wink that the Kid Icarus remaster or remake is in the works or anything like that. So it is possible that this could be the game that they could be remaking or remastering. There are those who believe that game should get the remaster remake treatment, especially considering it was on the Nintendo 3DS. This was before the new 3DS came out, the one that had that new, that second analog stick or anything like that, or something like that on it and everything. So, I mean, it is possible, or it could be something completely different though. So it will be very interesting to see what this game turns out to be and whether or not it will be making its way to the Nintendo Switch, or the possibility of it being part of, being like part of the Switch successor or Switch 2 or whatever Nintendo is going to refer to their next system. It could be a cross-gen title, to be exact. So there are definitely many ways you could look at this though. I'm hoping it is a remaster or remake of Kid Icarus Uprising. I do think that franchise should get another shot and everything like that. I mean, we've seen if a series like Pikmin can have Pikmin 4 and do very well, and if Fire Emblem series can do very well, then, or even the Xenoblade Chronicles series, that I can't see how Kid Icarus can't get its own success and everything like that. But time will ultimately tell, and we'll have to wait to see what both Bandai Namco and Nintendo have to say. So overall, very curious to see what this 3D action game or this 2D action game they could be working on. Like I said, I hope it's Kid Icarus Uprising, either a remaster or a remake or a new entry. But time will ultimately tell once we know for certain what this game might be and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with Insomniac Games, which unfortunately, along with Sony, suffered a unfortunate hack and everything like that. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one we're going to be talking about Insomniac Games and an unfortunate situation that they have found themselves into. Now, supposedly last week Sony was unfortunately hit with another hack and everything like that, which for some reason Sony seems to have had this problem with hacks before in the past and everything like that. And well, unfortunately, it seems as though the report seems to have come out this week that information by the hackers have put out in terms of stuff particularly from Insomniac Games and everything like that, to even a supposedly reports out there that a build of the Wolverine game that Insomniac Games is putting out supposedly out there for people to download to their PC and everything like that. Though for the record, I would like to say I don't support this in any shape and any form, though. The report comes out from basically by Push Square. It reads that, quote, a week after a ransomware group alleged to have infiltrated Sony's first-party Insomniac Games, leaked documents are allegedly beginning to emerge online. This followed on from apparently footage and concept art of the upcoming Marvel Wolverine, which is still in development for the PS5. The document appears to outline the developers' plans for the next decade and beyond. According to Cyber Daily, the leak amounts to 1.67 terabytes of data spanning over 1.3 million files. It claims that 98% of the data has been leaked so far, suggesting the remaining 2% may have been sold. It should be noted Noted among the data is personal information, including proprietary, if I'm saying this correctly, employees' passport scan, internal emails, and confidential information such as license contacts and all. Insomniac has sort of responded to this situation. They posted something on X, formerly known as Twitter. This is what they had to say. Quote, "Thank you for the outpouring of compassion and unwavering support. It's deeply appreciated. We're both saddened and angered by the recent criminal cyber attack on our studio and the emotional toll it takes on our development team. We have focused inward for the last several days to support each other. We are aware the stolen data includes personal information belonging to our employees, former employees, and independent contractors. It also includes early development details about Marvel's Wolverine for the PS5. We continue to work quickly to determine what data was impacted. This experience has been extremely distressing for us. We want everyone to enjoy the game we develop as intended and as our players deserve. However, like Logan, Insomniac is resilient. Marvel's Wolverine continues as planned. The game is in early production and will no doubt greatly evolve throughout development, as do all our projects. While we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm, we will share official information about Marvel's Wolverine when the time is right. On behalf of everyone at Insomniac, thank you for your ongoing support during this challenging time." This is what they have written and everything like that. This group that hacked it claimed that they would reveal this information after basically asking for a ransom and everything like that, though. It's also been reported that internet service providers are sent DMCA notice to people acquiring and downloading a playable early build of Marvel's Wolverine and everything like that. The whole situation with this, though, is I don't approve of this in any way whatsoever, though, especially when it's personal information being out there, though. It's one thing, it depends on how the leak is, how some leaks are handled and everything like that. But when it gets to the point of someone actually hacking the information and putting out actual personal information and everything like that, I do have to draw the line there, though, and it will be very interesting to see if they find who this person is and what criminal charges this individual may face, though. I think someone tried to leak GTA 6 or something like that, and Rockstar, knowing like Nintendo how very protective of their product is, really went after this person very, very hard. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do go after this person really hard. That said, it also kind of questions Sony's handling of protecting, people's information getting leaked, as Sony has been hacked before in the past. And so it does raise some questions about the safety and security of people's information over at Sony and everything like that, and how they've handled the situation and so forth. So it does raise certain questions about Sony's handling of this. But in either case, though, they should never, Insomniac Games or Sony in general, should have never been hacked in the first place. And it's very unfortunate, especially the people that are sadly suffering through this and everything like that. So overall, I do want to say it's very unfortunate what's happening to Insomniac Game, and I outright condemn what this individual did in terms of hacking and stealing what essentially could be actually personal information of a lot of folks and everything like that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 4, and this one has to do with basically a change in sort of leadership over at Activision Blizzard and even Bethesda to a certain degree, especially with Bobby Kotick now stepping down at the end of the month and everything like that. So, excuse me, we'll take a quick break and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 4 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, this has to do with Xbox, particularly in terms of a shakeup in terms of the leadership or anything like that, particularly over at Activision Blizzard and even Bethesda. So one of the things that came out during the Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard was that once the deal officially closed, which it did in October and all, basically one of the ideas was that Bobby Kotick would eventually step down and everything from his role as being in charge of Activision Blizzard, which has been he's been sort of a very controversial figure, to be exact. There have been reports ranging from allegations of mistreatment of employees, particularly allegations he faced as well, to, some of the claim that Activision Blizzard has reduced itself to nothing more than a Call of Duty company, to even a situation where during one of their financial reports, even though they made a lot of money, they didn't make all the money in the world and basically laid off several employees while the higher-ups gave themselves bonuses and everything like that and all. And then, of course, there was a better ABK and everything like that. Excuse me. And the push from software testers at Raven Software for unionization, which they did eventually succeed in, everything like that. Well, it seems that apparently after after Activision Blizzard the whole merger was finally closed and they were purchased, though, there was some shakeup in leadership here and there, and now another shakeup in leadership has happened, and this one has to do with not only at Bethesda to a certain extent, but Activision Blizzard, with Bobby Kotick officially leaving by the end of the month. It's first reported that Push Square kind of pointed out in an update that says that, quote, another change has been announced during the day is that Jill Braff, B-R-A-F-F, is becoming the new head of ZeniMax and Bethesda Studio. Jill has been general manager of integration, if I'm saying it correctly, and casual games at Xbox Game Studios since 2020, and has previously held roles at the likes of Sega, Nintendo, and even Home Shopping Network and everything like that. But the big one, and a lot of this was reported on The Verge, is about Bobby Kotick, as he will depart and everything like that. According to the article from The Verge, it reads, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is stepping down officially December 29th. Microsoft has not appointed a direct replacement and instead has rolled the suit of Activision Blizzard executive, including Blizzard President Mike Yaba, if I'm saying the name correctly, Activision Publishing President Robert Kostak, and Activision Blizzard Vice Chair Thomas Tippa, under Microsoft's Gaming Content and Studio President Matt Booty. Bobby Kotick's departure comes just 2 months after some big Xbox leadership change that saw Sarah Baum promoted to Xbox president, leading all Xbox platform and hardware work, and Matt Booty promoted to president of gaming content and studios, including overseeing Bethesda and ZeniMax Studios. Now Booty is getting even more responsibility with Bethesda, Activision Blizzard, and Xbox Game Studios, all under his watch. Microsoft is largely keeping the leadership team at Activision Blizzard in place, with some executive level exceptions. Activision Blizzard's Chief Communication Officer Lulu Meservey will leave the company at the end of January. The Vice Chairman of Blizzard and King will also depart at the end of December. A number of Activision Blizzard's executives will depart in March as well. So obviously the big one is that Bobby Kotick will be leaving at the end of the month and everything like that, though. I mean, part of me is happy about this and part of me isn't, though. The part that I'm not happy about in all this announcement is that Bobby Kotick is going to get a golden parachute out of this, and he's going to earn a lot of money, which honestly I really wish he did not, and everything like that, considering the allegations of how the work treatment of folks at Activision Blizzard was under his watch and everything like that. I personally think he should not get a single dime whatsoever, and I stand behind that statement nevertheless. That said, if this is what it takes to get him out of Activision Blizzard for good, I think then that's fine, though. I don't like it, but I'm glad that he is basically gone, though. I am hoping with this shakeup at leadership, or somewhat change of leadership at Activision Blizzard, does lead to basically a does lead to basically a much better Activision, Blizzard, and King and everything like that. Hopefully this now frees up the developers that they don't have to constantly just focus on Call of Duty alone and everything like this. So that maybe opens the door to the possibility of reviving some old IPs like maybe Prototype or Gun or even, you know, StarCraft that was shown like during one of the trailers and everything like that, to maybe giving, you know, some of the studios a shot at maybe some of the IPs Microsoft has acquired that has remained untouched for quite some time. Like, I've heard stories about the possibility of maybe letting Toys for Bot get a shot at, let's say, a Banjo-Kazooie game, which I wouldn't be completely against if it's executed correctly, everything like that. Or have some of the folks who did maybe some of the Call of Duty games maybe help out with 343 with Halo and everything like that. So we'll see what happens over time when Bobby Kotick is finally out and everything like that. And also, part of me is very interested to see how this leadership change, whether this will have a positive or a negative impact. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. And we'll be very interested to see how 2024 plays out for Activision Blizzard when they start their leadership under Microsoft and everything. So overall, though, very interesting change in leadership at Bethesda, but obviously the big one is Bobby Kotick will be leaving on December 29th, though. I am glad, especially given how he treated some of his employees, though. But like I said, I'm not a fan that he's getting the golden parachute out of this, but I am still glad that he is basically going to be gone and everything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fifth and final part. And this one has to do with reports of the possibility with the next Xbox system and everything like that. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fifth and final part of our excuse me, of my G-Sense system. And for this one, we're going to be talking about Xbox next system or next gen console and everything like that, though. Now, to me, the fact that Microsoft probably is working on their next system isn't really hugely surprising, since we've seen a lot of these consoles have a certain life cycle before they move on to their next system and all. But we've also seen cases where some systems, or say some generations, have lasted much longer than a lot of people had originally thought, though. I mean, look at basically like with the PS4 to even the Nintendo Switch, for that matter, which has done pretty well and everything like that. Although it'll be interesting to see what Nintendo's next system will be out when it comes out, supposedly next year and everything like that. So the fact that Microsoft could be working on their next system isn't completely surprising, though. But as far as what their next system might be, that kind of remains to be seen at this time. However, there have been some reports coming out of what their next system might actually have and when they think it might come out, and some reports are claiming it might come out much sooner than what some may have originally thought, though. Anyway, two articles pointing this out, and this has to do with basically one from WCCF Tech. They're reporting saying, quote, in a new video shared on YouTube, Red Gaming Tech reveal how the timeline for the next console by Microsoft shifts significantly since the document leaked by the FTC earlier this year. According to the source, the console will be released during 2026 and will be powered by a Zen 5 CPU and not by a Zen 6 CPU as revealed in the document, as the 6th iteration Zen architecture will not be ready by then. As for why Microsoft is planning to release the next generation Xbox earlier than the PS6, it appears because the company wants to send the message for the next generation of consoles like it was successfully done in the Xbox 360 generation. The hardware will be less powerful than the competitor, obviously, but this will not only make it cheaper than the PlayStation 6, but it will also allow Microsoft to release a more powerful hardware revision down the line. Whether Microsoft will release 2 SKU, like we saw with this generation with Xbox Series X and S, of their next console is not yet known, but rumors suggest The lower end segment will be covered with a cloud gaming focused console, which will make sense given the company's focus on Xbox Game Pass and cloud gaming, though. Tweaktown has kind of reported on this as well, as they mentioned that Microsoft is looking to use mostly an AI acceleration with an NPU processors, though, to optimize multiple tasks and features. That's the claim. And then, of course, Jeff Grubb has kind of chimed in on this as well, in terms of one of his Game Mess podcasts. He said, quote, "There are rumors out there from someone who was part of the leaking this stuff on the PS side, but that person is now also saying that Xbox will have their own Xbox Next in 2026, whether that's a Pro or full follow-up console," Grubb said. This leaker is saying this stuff is canceled and they're going to do the Xbox Next faster than you would do otherwise, maybe moving the start of the next generation by a couple of years. Now, it is worth pointing out, though, that this information is considered, rumors at this time. So there's nothing official at this moment. So a grain of salt obviously needs to be taken with this. It's also worth pointing out, though, that I think Phil Spencer has made a comment before in the past saying that about these documents being old and that things have changed, though. So, I mean, it's possible they could be right on this document. They could be completely off on this information. But I'm not really surprised at what Xbox might be doing for their next system and everything like that. I mean, we have seen push to use either AI or some form of DLSS in other systems. There are rumors pointing out the possibility of Nintendo's next system could use NVIDIA's DLSS. So it wouldn't surprise me if it uses some feature like this AI or whatever they're aiming for, to be exact. As for whether or not it's going to come out in 2026 or not, remains to be seen at this time if that is going to happen or anything like that. I mean, a lot can happen between now and 2026 and all. I mean, right now where Microsoft is with the Xbox Series X and S, I would say, while it's not completely overtaking the PS5 or anything like that, it does seem to be, at least in my view, in a better spot than where the Xbox One was, to be exact. I'm not saying it's perfect, but certainly, let's just say in a better spot and everything like that. And so far, it doesn't seem to be that they're aiming for anything like a Pro or anything like that, where Sony might be, if the rumors about the PS5 Pro are necessarily true or not, though. So, I mean, I don't doubt they're working on their next system, but I do think it might be a while before we hear anything. But like anything, this is a rumor, so a grain of salt should be taken on this. So overall, a lot can happen between now and 2026. I mean, Microsoft could announce basically their next system next year and everything like that. So, or we may not hear about it for a while. So time will ultimately tell if these rumors turn out to be true or not, though. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the controversy surrounding the Completionist, though? Do you think these allegations are true? Do you think these are very serious allegations in any way? Do you think the developers of Seas of Stars did the right thing, removing the Completionist from their game in terms of his guest appearance and everything like that? What are your thoughts about Nintendo and Bandai Namco teaming up in terms of working on a new 2D or 3D action game? Do you think this is good in any way? Do you think the 3D action game could be a Kid Icarus Uprising remake or remaster or something completely different? What are your thoughts around the situation surrounding Insomniac Games being hacked and everything like that? Do you view this as a terrible situation? Do you think this could have a very serious impact on the Wolverine game that they are developing and everything like that? What are your thoughts about the change in leadership over at Microsoft in regards of not only Bethesda but Activision Blizzard, though. Are you glad that Bobby Kotick is going to be gone by the end of the month? Do you believe are you not pleased with the fact that he's still going to get a golden parachute out of this? Do you think Microsoft will hire new folks that will actually be better than Bobby Kotick, or do you fear it could be just trading one bad seed for another? And what are your thoughts about these rumors about of Xbox having their next system possibly by 2026? Do you think these excuse me? Do you think these rumors are true? Do you think they're accurate, or do you think they are a bit, far-fetched or everything like that? Or do you feel like there are some that raises red flags and all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!